Last week on Friday, I did a video, a live stream about Uber in Massachusetts and the new agreement that they came up with. And this is what was the continuation in my email. Although I didn't open it up, I was at the barbershop on Friday, but here's the continuation to the email, which are a lot of things that I, being a Massachusetts Uber, Lyft, DoorDash driver, Spark, Roadie, I don't agree with. But anyway, here's Tony West, what he wrote on June the 28th, 2024, which was on Friday. I got the email, came from Uber, and this was inside the email. And like I said on the live, I had the opportunity to open it up, but I did not. It's delivering flexibility and benefits for Massachusetts drivers, written by Tony West, Chief Legal Counsel. And maybe you all are part of the Uber newsroom. You can go on and look at this article yourself. But it says, over the past 7 years, we've advocated for creating a framework that gives independent workers the benefits and protections they deserve, while preserving the flexibility they want. One that offers an alternative to traditional employment and fits the way people are increasingly choosing to work. A framework where people can choose work that fits the rhythms of their lives, not the other way around. It says here, today, in resolving a long-standing lawsuit in Massachusetts, we have reached an agreement with Attorney General Andrea Campbell that gives drivers access to new protections and benefits, including the nation's first portable health insurance benefit fund, where preserving their ability to work, while preserving their ability to work independently. Uber and Lyft, they were both with Stride. Stride offered the same program. Medical insurance and take around the United States with you. So this is nothing new. They're just taking it out of the Uber app and then making it a state thing. But anyway, my wife and I, in the past, we've had to have gone to Mass Health and pay payments for Massachusetts Health, which the same thing. It's portable around the U.S. So this is nothing new. Anybody in Massachusetts knows about Massachusetts Health. It's just like Florida Health. The state has health insurance. Based on how much you make, you're going to pay X amount on however many members are in your household. So this portable insurance is nothing new. Believe me, it is nothing new. Portable Health Insurance Benefit Fund. Starting in March 2025, drivers who average at least 15 hours en route to pick up or with a passenger per week in a quarter, combining time spent driving with Uber and or Lyft, will receive a cash stipend toward the cost of a qualifying health plan. Qualifying drivers averaging at least 25 hours per week between the two companies will be eligible for a full stipend, while those averaging between 15 and 25 hours may be eligible for a half stipend. Anyway, anybody can go on the Mass Health website and see if this is actually worth it. Being an Uber driver, you get half or full. You can actually see if it's worth it, because it's depending. Mass Health, like I said, it's available to anyone in the state of Massachusetts. Depending on your income, your household income, it tells you how much you're going to have to pay, whether it's full amount or you're not going to have to pay any. You might have a family of husband and wife and so many kids where you might not have to pay anything, because there's certain criteria in Massachusetts that, especially being a sanctuary state, there's so much stuff in Massachusetts that is free and available if you meet certain criteria. Unlike when I lived in Texas, unlike other states in the United States, Massachusetts is an animal of its own. That's why many people like to come to Massachusetts for the benefits. Cold weather, I didn't come for the benefits, but some people like to come here for the state benefits, because all you have to do is meet the qualifications and you can get state benefits and don't have to pay. You get housing, you get food stamps, you get WIC, you get free medical insurance. Now you have NEMT that's in the mix. You have medical rides, you have transportation for mothers that need to go here or there. It's just, Massachusetts is an animal of its own. It has so much. If you all do all the stuff that people, the resources, the things that people are getting caught up in scams and frauds. The Attorney General is catching up with so many people that have scammed the state of Massachusetts. But anyway, this health benefit is nothing new. Massachusetts offers medical insurance to everyone that lives in the state. Just depends on your salary, how much you make, your household income, what you are going to pay. So this is nothing new. Plus, it's good around the U.S., so it's portable. It's good around the U.S. So, hey, anyway, the portable, and this is starting in March of 2025. My question is, why can't it start immediately? If they come up with an agreement, why do we have to wait till March 2025? You know how many drivers are going to still be driving with Uber or Lyft March 2025? I would say a lot of the drivers that are driving now, it's a big chance they won't be there in March 2025. I'm planning on keeping my account, whether I have a W-2 job or if I have to stay 1099. Doesn't matter. I'm going to keep my account active, up to date, and current because I like the flexibility to log in, log out whenever I want. But anyway, here are these criteria here. And like I said, you can go on the Uber Newsroom yourself. You can check this out. It's there on the website. I got it through my email. But anyway, here you go. It says a minimum earnings guarantee starting August 15. Each Massachusetts driver will be guaranteed minimum earnings of $32.50 per hour for time spent on the way to the pickup and during a ride. For each 2-week earnings period, Uber will compare the driver's total earnings against the earnings floor and top up the driver's pay if it is below the earnings floor. Ensuring the pay guarantee is met over a period of 2 weeks rather than on each trip helps to keep trips affordable for riders. For riders, right? That's why this same standard was adopted by voters in California, the Attorney General in New York, and the legislature in Minnesota. So it's doing it for the riders. It doesn't say it's doing it for the drivers. It says for the riders, keeping it affordable for the riders. But it's going to take 2 weeks for them to make an adjustment. So right now, in 1 hour, some of the trip offers I get on Uber to go about 60 miles. And I can provide the screenshots if I need to. If I go on a 60-mile trip, 65-mile trip from Boston to some town or from town up to Boston, the offer that Uber gives me under UberX, right at $49. Could be $46, could be $49. So this $32.50 per hour, do I really want to lose out on $16.50? I don't. And I got to drive 60 miles for $32.50. You're out of your mind. The city bus drivers here in Massachusetts, driving a city bus, whether it's with electric or gas, maybe a combination of both, they make about $30 an hour. So you're telling me my vehicle, my gas, is only worth $2.50 more per hour than someone using somebody else's vehicle? Not a good deal. It's my opinion. Maybe there are some drivers that will lap this up and think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread or whatever thing you want to compare it to. But to me, it's a fail. It's a dud. But anyway, maybe at some point Uber's going to get back to, I don't know what the end game of this is. Maybe it's going to be involved with these rental car programs that's going on. Self-driving cars, $32.50 per hour. Because it says it's benefits, it's for the passengers. It didn't say it was for the drivers. It just said it was a guarantee. But you see here, it said to keep it affordable. Let me see if I can highlight this. There we go. It says here, keep it affordable. Keep trips affordable for riders. Okay, that's what you want to do, Uber. Go ahead. And the legislator, they went with this. Had it been gone to the voters, we would be in a different situation. I know the union, they fought hard to against Uber to take it to the polls, let the consumers, the drivers, the passengers, the voters here in Massachusetts decide what they want to do. But Uber didn't want to wait because, just like in Minnesota, Minneapolis, they were going to slap basically the cuffs on Uber. And I was cheering for them, go, 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 because yes, that's what drivers need. They need to know they're going to be guaranteed a certain amount of money in certain cities, and these companies cannot take advantage of them. But here, Uber has the opportunity to take advantage. The health insurance is going to be March 15th. I know some of the health insurance in Massachusetts, you know, you have the deadline, the end of December, to pick and choose your insurance. But I'm wondering why they have to delay the insurance until, what date does this say again? March 2025. What's going to happen between today is July 1st and March 2025? What's going to happen between now and then? 8, 9 months later. What's going to happen? How many drivers are they going to get rid of or deactivate or terminate? Do some simple math. I'm sure they can juggle some math and say, okay, we need to get rid of this, bring in some new drivers and balance this thing, because a lot of new drivers that have not been here since 2017 like I have. I've driven in Texas and now in Massachusetts. I drive in Connecticut. I've driven in Connecticut. I've driven in Rhode Island, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. I've driven in California, especially in Rhode Island. The rates are a lot lower than they are here, or a little bit lower than they are here in Massachusetts. And the thing about Massachusetts, and I've talked about this before, other drivers have talked about it, is people, they like to come to Massachusetts and then go to places like Connecticut. They don't want to go to other states, New Hampshire. I know some people like to go to Boston Logan Airport. Like I got a trip request to go up to Maine here earlier this morning from the airport. It's a good price, $122. So for 2 hours worth of work. But anyway, they like to go to other states. But when we go to those other states, that $32.50 will not apply because we're out of state driving in that state. So those rates are going to kick in. That's why many drivers don't like to cross state lines, because once we cross the state line, prime example, once you leave Massachusetts and go just over the line to Rhode Island, whether it's Lyft or Uber, the rates tank. Like on Uber. Uber X used to be around $4.50 base, whereas in Rhode Island, like $3.75, $3.25. So, I don't want to lose money. Anyway, let me continue. The portable help, it's going to start. Got the minimum wage guarantee. Like I say, it helps to keep trips affordable for riders. Doesn't say the drivers. It just says the riders. And at the end of 2 weeks, does 2 weeks sound familiar? Don't W-2 jobs, some of them pay the 1st, the 15th, once a week, or every 2 weeks? It's starting to sound familiar. So are we more employees, or are we independent contractors? So they're going to give a top off every 2 weeks. Okay, that's very interesting. That's why this same standard was adopted by voters in California, the Attorney General in New York, and the legislator in Minnesota. Under occupational accident insurance, it says Uber will provide occupational accident insurance at no cost to drivers. This insurance will provide drivers with $1 million in coverage for medical expenses, as well as disability payments if they are injured while driving on the platform and are unavailable to continue working. Coverage will begin October 1st. So it's going to begin October 1st. Okay. So like I told you, the minimum is, on the 1 hour trips that I get, it's right at $50. So in actuality, is Uber paying, or am I paying because I'm taking a pay cut? They want to pay me $32.50 for an active hour. Active hour, I make about $50 if I take a 1 hour trip somewhere, about 60 miles. So in actuality, Uber's not paying. I'm paying because I'm taking a pay cut. I'm no longer making $49, $50 an hour. I'm making $32.50. So psychological games, y'all. Maybe they should pay me the $49 and I take my own money and get my own occupational health insurance. What do you think? I'm sure for $15 for 1 hour, $15 a month or whatever, maybe I can get my own. Well, let's continue. You got to think how Uber, because if you don't live in Massachusetts, if you're not used to the rates, I've driven in Massachusetts since 2020. March 2020 is when I moved here. I've seen a lot of changes. I still like the time and distance model. I still like the long trip pay, extra pick for long pickups like I used to get. It's making good money then, and now the money has gone downhill. Anyway, here you go. Let's continue. October 1. So in March, we're going to get the health insurance. August 15, we're going to get the new $32.50 an hour. And then in October, we're going to get this occupational health insurance. But how many drivers are going to be around? August 15th, October 1, March 2025. It says paid sick leave. Beginning November 1, drivers will accrue a bank of paid sick leave at a rate of 1 hour of sick pay for every 30 hours spent en route or with a passenger in the vehicle. Drivers will be able to access this bank at any time to offset, let me see here, to offset lost earnings when they need to take time off to care for themselves or their loved ones. Okay, so once again, $32.50 opposed to $49. Can I take that money and put it in every month? Maybe I'm going to work 50 hours in a week for Uber. Maybe they should pay the same rates and give us the choice to do what we've been doing all along. It's independent contractors. So to me, another loss. Paid family medical leave insurance. Starting October 1, all drivers will be eligible for a quarter-end payment equal to half the cost of enrolling in the state's paid family medical leave insurance program. This payment will be made irrespective of whether the driver has opted into the program, with the first payment coming after the end of the quarter. For details on how to enroll, visit the state program website here. See? Visit the state's website. I can do that myself without the pay cut. Account deactivation appeals. Every driver in the state will continue to have access to our deactivations review center in the event they feel their account has been mistakenly or wrongfully deactivated. Multilingual chat support. Coming next year, Uber will provide all drivers with live chat support available in English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. Okay. Yes. Those are the primary languages here in Massachusetts. English, Spanish, French, Portuguese. Yes. We have Haitians, Jamaicans here, Dominicans, Guatemalans, we have African Americans, we have Americans, we have, well, they didn't put the English, the Indian languages here. We have many different Indians, indigenous people that live here in Massachusetts, so they didn't include their language. I wonder why. They could have included it in there. I'm sure they work for Uber and Lyft or with them as independent contractors. Could have put them in there. But anyway, this agreement is an example of what independent, flexible work with dignity should look like in the 21st century. We are thrilled to see more policymakers supporting portable benefits and innovative frameworks to improve independent work. Why couldn't they just kept the pay rate the same? Why couldn't Uber have implemented this without wasting all the money on advertising? Just put the money into the app, into the driver's hands, and do what's right by the drivers. Why does it always have to come to states threatening to sue you or you threatening to sue them. Why does it have to come to this? Why can't Uber just operate an honest business practice? They could implement this, Uber and Lyft both, easily, without, across the board. They could implement this easily. But anyway, so now they have 2 weeks to hold on to the driver's money and then see if they're going to make an adjustment depending on how much the drivers in Massachusetts are going to make. I don't like that idea. I don't like them holding my money, just like the debacle we experienced on January 1st, 2024. The debacle, yeah, they held on to the money. Went to cash out on December 31st. We could not. After about 8 p.m., we could not cash out. They held on to the money for several days. So if I want to go offline and say, okay, I'm done driving for the year of 2023, cash out my earnings, get all my money for that year, say I'm done before midnight, I could not. It had to carry over to the next day. So now at the end of 2024, that money's showing up on how much I made in my earnings, which is not right because I was offline before midnight of 2024. And my money was still being held captive for, instead of 2023 getting my full payment, to say, okay, I made this much, it carried on into the next year. So why does Uber have to agree to hold the driver's money? Why are you holding it? Are we going to quit, get deactivated, and the hold's going to be there to see if the customer's right, or if I stole their food, or if this or that, or, I mean, why the 2 weeks? Why not pay just instantly? Anyway, here we go. It says here, in taking this opportunity, we've resolved historical liabilities by constructing a new operating model that balances both flexibility and benefits. This allows both Uber and Massachusetts to move forward in a way that reflects what drivers want and demonstrates to other states what's possible to achieve. It didn't say the drivers were involved in this. It just said Uber and Massachusetts, the Attorney General. We hope to engage other policymakers, drivers, advocates, and stakeholders around the world to forge similar solutions. So, I guess Massachusetts is the model. That's what they're planning on doing in Massachusetts. So, let's see what'll happen. Let's see what will happen. It says share this post, and then here you go. Introducing the one less car challenge. They want to pay people $1,000 to not drive their car. But anyway, there you go. So there you go. Uber Newsroom. Check it out. Go on to Uber Newsroom. You can download this yourself. You can read it. Do you agree with this? I don't. I don't like them holding my money. I like the ability to cash out now. But unfortunately, they play these little games. There have been times when I went to cash out. Oh, the fund's not available right now, or whatever excuse they come up with. You cannot do it. It's unavailable at this time. So there you go. I hope you all have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this little reading. And this is look like the end of this for now. But do you agree with this? Do you think Uber should cut drivers' pay in order to pay for the benefits, or should they just have kept the drivers' pay higher? Let the drivers pay for their own benefits. We are independent contractors. Really, I don't need Uber to pay all these stuff for me. I just want fair pay so I can pay for the stuff I can afford, rather, to pay for it myself. I'm an independent contractor, so yes, I have to pay for my car. So why don't they help pay for my car? Why don't they help pay for my car insurance? They want to help pay for other things, so why not help me out with these and still pay me $32.50 an hour? The same thing, the same conundrum, the same idea. So why not Uber? Yeah, for $32.50, just like the bus drivers. MBTA in Massachusetts. Google that yourself. They make starting at $32.50, $30 an hour. And they're driving someone else's vehicle, using their gas. They have a benefits package. So if you want to pay for my benefits, why not pay for my vehicle, Uber? Yeah, throw some extra money. I'd rather have $50, $60 an hour to pay for all this stuff you've listed and agreed to myself than have you drop my pay down. And then I still have to pay for my car. I mean, the lower payment, this car payment's not going to be lower. I can't call the bank and say, oh, they cut my pay down to $15 an hour, $17 an hour. Can you lower this payment for me? Can you make it, instead of a $20,000 car, can you make it a $15,000 car? Can you? I'm like, no, Ronald, cannot do that. You have a contract. I'm sorry, we cannot go back on that. We cannot lower your car payment, the valuation of it. You've had it how many years now? We cannot lower the valuation just because you got a pay cut. Think, y'all. Look with your eyes. Listen. Because who knows how long Tony West is going to be there. There are many people that create these laws, politicians. They create these things and they exit stage, exit to the left, exit stage right. And then we're left holding the bag of $32.50 an hour. Until another deal took, 7 years on this one in Massachusetts. About 7 years? Or is that the time that Tony West has been there? So it took all these years to come up with a package. Doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. You can have a package done just like that in less than a year. Have a package that everybody agrees on in months' time. Legally, you can. You can. Just, hey, you want this? You want this? Just like some people, they go through divorces. They drag it out for years and years because maybe they have attorneys and attorneys want more money, or they're fighting over this or that. Hey, divorces can be settled, a lot of them, really quick. Just, you agree, okay, is this the right thing? Is this the honest thing? Are we lying? Are you lying? Am I lying? Am I throwing mud? No, just come to an agreement and be done. It doesn't take 4 or 7 years to come up with this agreement. Just like in Minnesota. It doesn't take that long to come up with an agreement. But for me, instead of having $32.50 an hour, I'd rather have $60 an hour like I used to make. Good money. Don't have to worry about the stresses of life, pay my bills, pay my Massachusetts health insurance, and all that. So, but now, are you trying to lower my pay so that now I have to live off of food stamps? I have to go file for government assistance because now my taxes, since I'm making $32.50 an hour and I'm getting these health benefits, you know how that's going to play on my taxes now? Because now every year I have to report, did you have insurance for 2024 for the whole year? Did you have coverage? Yes, we have coverage. Did you have this? Do you have that? There's so much more to this that is not being spelled out for us Massachusetts drivers. Because now, when it comes tax time, there are questions we have to ask in order to answer, in order to file our taxes. So, to me, this is a loss. I don't appreciate it. Just wish the fare, the price was higher. Just like time and distance. Just like I had, you're paying me $32.50 to start the trip to go pick someone up. Well, you used to pay me time and distance back then. So, yeah, that 60-minute trip back in the day, instead of $32.50, could be $60, $80, depending on UberX or where the long pickup is, how far from the customer. So, just never know. But anyway, some people might appreciate this, but for me, it's a loss. So I'm not calling it a wash. So we'll see how it all plays out. Maybe I'll still be here the next month or two. Maybe I won't. Maybe they'll find a way to minimize my driving, lock me out of my app. Maybe it's time for me to seriously consider becoming truly independent. Like, I see all these vehicles at the airport, limousine services, NEMT rides, the library. Never know. That's the move I need to make for me and my household. So instead of making $32.50 an hour guaranteed, or whatever they decide, hey, and do something better and greater. So you all have a great day. I hope you consider these benefits that are coming to a state near you really, really soon. According to what Tony West says, he hopes that other states and countries will adopt a similar model. Let me show this to you again. We hope, here at the bottom, we hope he didn't even sign off on this thing. It says, we hope to engage other policymakers, drivers, advocates, and stakeholders around the world to forge similar solutions. All right, well, there you go. I hope you all have a great day. Be blessed out there. Stay blessed, favored, highly favored, healthy, and safe. And go back home to your family the same way or even better than when you left, with money in your pocket. Blessings. I'm out.